man. Something I don't know what he be saying. How you do that? It take a lot of strength out of brother. I'm gonna take me a nap or something. Hey guys, how y'all doing out there? Time for another tutorial from VideoEditingSoftwareGuide.com. Alright, this is a tutorial request for y'all out there. I've been asked several times on how to make a Kamehameha wave, so I'm going to break it down and make it for you. It's kind of like using a laser effect. Matter of fact, it's the same type of principles altogether. You need to use a program called Inkscape to do this. I have the link to that in the description of this video. Let's get it cracking, alright? So, first thing I need to do in Cyberlink is I have to have my footage that I created down into the timeline. And I want to move my playhead to a position right where the individual makes his move. Alright? So this is a little bit... I think that's pretty good right there. So this should be the first position where he makes a move. Now I want to step back 2 frames. 1, 2. And I'm going to split my clip here. And what I need to do next is I need to create a photo of this image here. So I'm going to click on take a snapshot. And I'll name it whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Name it whatever you want. Make sure you know the location where it saves it on PowerDirector. It saves it in the document under Cyberlink. And then you click on Cyberlink and then you go to 11 and then you have the picture there. I'm not going to save it because I already have a copy of this image saved. So I'm good to go. The next thing I need to do is I need to go into Inkscape. Now this saved image is going to help you in Inkscape to create the actual Kamehameha wave. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to Open. I'm going to go and find the picture on my computer. And here it is. So I'll click Open. And I'll leave it on Embed. And I'll click OK. Now I want to make this full screen real quick. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to create the circle because I need to have the part that looks like it's coming from his hands in a circular motion. So I'm going to click on the Create Circles tool and I'm going to try to create a little circle here. I'm going to click on the Selection tool to bring it up to size. I might bring that down a little bit. And it looks like a pretty good place right there. So, I think I do is make sure that I'm still on the Select tool. And I'm going to do Control, Shift, and F. What that's going to do is it's going to bring up my Fill and Stroke tool. First thing I need to do is go ahead and click on, make sure I'm on the Fill tab. Click on Flat Color. And then I'm going to choose Whites. There must be a little stroke on this bad boy still, so let's get rid of that stroke. Got to get rid of that. So we're going to go to Stroke Style and make sure that it's on line. And we're going to change this to 0. So now that stroke is gone for there that we don't want right now. Now I'm going to go to Fill. We're going to go to Duplicate Layer. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Then for this layer that we just created, we're going to go to Fill and we're going to go to Blue. We want this one to be blue. Then we're going to go and we're going to move this selection down 1 step. What's going to make happen is now the white is on top of the blue. All right, because remember when we duplicated that layer, we made a blue one, so now we have a blue and a white layer. So we're going to go to Stroke Paint. We just want to make sure this bad boy is still on blue, which it is. And then we're going to go to stroke style. Make sure it's still on line. And we're going to make our width on this 70. Now we got a nice little blue circle right around here. It looks so beautiful, don't you agree? Alright. We want to move our blur to about 4. So we got a nice little blur going on there. So now let's click on the white. And let's go to fill. And we're going to make a blur on this too. We're going to make it 0.5. And we're good with that. So now what we want to do real quick is make sure we're on the select tool, and let's go ahead and undo that. We may need to move this, so if you do need to move it, let's click on the outer blue one first and move it closer, as close as you want it to be. Do the same thing with the white. Just make sure you try to get it centered pretty well. And that looks pretty good. So now that's about as close as I want. It looks pretty nice and looks pretty dandy, but at the end of the day, I still need to have the wave. I need the rest of the Kamehameha wave to come through. So I'm going to need to do the same thing that I just now did, but I need to do it with a line. So I'm going to use the draw tool, and I'm going to try to get my first piece of this. Let's move this over a little bit because I want to see all the way over to the edge of the picture right now. And of course I could do zoom and change that, but we're good where we at. So what I'm going to do is I want to put this right near the top of this white part. I'm going to click it once, and I'm going to draw my line out to where I want it to go, and I'm going to click outside of the picture. I'm trying to make it at an angle that's the same as where my arms are going. And then I might come to a position here, and then maybe come up like this to make it kind of look like it's shooting more at a angle there. So now I got that. So I'm good. Now I'm going to right click to select what I just did. And then after I right click, I'm going to click on the selection tool. And I'm going to go back to these same steps. So I'm going to go to fill. Make sure I'm on flat. Change this to white. Select the inside is white again. Go to stroke style. Make sure it's on line. Change it to 0 because I don't want to see a black line around this. So we're good with that. Now I go to fill again. I want to duplicate this again. I'm going to go to fill again. I'm going to go to blue. So now I got a blue layer on here as well. And I'm going to go to lower one step. White's on top of the blue again. Go to stroke paint. And put it back on blue. Now see, now we're not on blue, so kind of not happy with that. So let's get this on blue. Now a good thing about this, because I'm on stroke paint, I can make sure it's the same blue. If I go to stroke fill and they're both really close to the same area, they're not really there, so I'm going to try to move it over a little bit. Still need to move it over just a bit, not too much. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm on stroke paint now. Make sure I'm still on blue. Go back to stroke style. Make sure this is on line. My width again to 70 again because I want it to be the same width as the one I've created earlier. And now we want to go ahead and go to our blur and make that a 4 as well. I want to click on the white and I want to go to fill. Make sure our blue is 0.5. And now all we really got to do is move this blue over and move the white over. So I'm going to click over here on the blue. I'm going to move it over a little bit. And the reason why I'm moving it over is because you could see before that there was a little bit of blue that you could see from behind the white, which I don't really want, of course. Alright, that's cool. You know, too much of a damn perfectionist. My wife tells me that shit all the time. Alright, but I'm good now. Alright, so next thing I want to do is create this image of just the wave. So I'm going to click on the picture behind it by just clicking on this picture that I brought in, and I'm going to drag this off so you can't see it. I want to make sure I'm on the selection tool again. I'm going to click around this to select the circle and the other image that I drew. Now that I got this all done, I'm going to click on export. And I want to name it what I want to name it. Wave or blah, 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 blah. Who cares? So you can browse to the location where you want to save it to if you wish to do so. And then just click export and it'll export it. I already have an image of it, so I'm not going to need to export it. So I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to bring up PowerDirector. Now that I'm in PowerDirector, I've already know where I'm going to have the image actually started at because I split the clip where I wanted it to. So I'm going to drag this Kamehameha wave down right underneath it. And then I'm going to find out where the individual stops the effect. And that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to split the clip here as well. Now I'm going to drag my little Kamehameha wave all the way out so that it fits the whole scene. Next thing I need to do is position it where I want it to be. So I'm just going to drag thing to bring it into proportion. Bring it up to his hands. Right where I think it should be. I'm going to drag this off because I want the beam to be going off the screen. I don't want it, still on the screen. And then position it back in his hands where I like it. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. I like stats. Right, so we got the look we're looking for here, the beam coming out of his hands. Now, the few things we need to do to make this shine, to make it beautiful. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I have the Kamehameha wave selected. And I'm going to go to the effects room. I'm going to go to special. And I'm going to go to glow. So I'm going to drag the glow effect onto it. And now that it's on there, I want to click on the effect button. I'm going to change my blur radius. Well, it's going to give me some crappy message. I'm just going to click OK because I don't care about keyframes right now. I'm going to change my blur radius to 70. And I'm going to change my glow level to 8. I like how that's looking now. It's starting to look fresh and so clean. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to make sure that Track 3 is selected, and I'm going to paste it. Choose paste and overwrite. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste it again down into 4. Do paste and overwrite again. All right. Now the reason why I'm making 3 of these is because, unfortunately, I'm not able to keyframe any cropping. And I need to keyframe cropping to make it really look like it's shooting out and coming back in. So what I need to do is make a few changes to these 3 clips. So I'm going to stretch my timeline out first. I'm going to stretch it out just about as far as it can go, really. Alright, so now I want to move back to the beginning of these clips. First thing I want to do is I want to move forward 1 keyframe, or 1 frame. And I'm going to split this clip. I'm going to move forward 1 more frame. And I'm going to split this clip. Now I'm going to left click and I'm going to hit Control, left click, and then hit the trash can for these 2. Do remove and leave gap. Alright, now I'm going to go to the end of the clips and I'm going to do the same thing. So let's make sure that we're 2 frames in. There it is to begin, so I'll move back 1 frame. Select this clip, split it, move back 1 more frame. Make sure I'm on movie. And then move back 1 more frame. Select the bottom clip and split it. Now I'm going to Control click so that these 2 are both selected, and I'm going to hit the trash can and it will delete those. Now what I'm doing is, right now you can't really tell what I'm doing. You're just kind of changing the frames up a little bit. But now that I'm done with that, I'm going to drag this back in and make my timeline smaller again. So now I know that this actual first one that starts, because I know it starts first because that's the one I left on first, is going to be where the beam first starts coming out, and this is where second starts coming out, and third starts coming out. And then as the movie goes on, this one will disappear first, second, and third. So it'll make it look like it's coming on and going away by me doing some masking. So I'm going to click on the first clip. I'm going to modify. And I'm going to go to mask. I'm going to select the mask where it shows like just half of it. Okay. And now I want to go ahead and uncheck maintain aspect ratio. I'm going to drag this back to the beginning, and now I'm going to make just a little bit of it show. So that when that first frame comes on, all you're going to see is this. But the frames move so fast that it's going to make it actually look like it's moving across the screen. So I'm going to save this one. I'm going to go to the second one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to modify, mask. I'm going to choose the same mask and uncheck maintain aspect ratio. And this time I'll move it back, and I'll just leave it like that because this will be more of the beam showing. I might even just stretch it out a little bit more, and then hit save. And on the bottom one, I don't have to do anything because once the bottom one comes across, it's the whole laser or the whole Kamehameha wave. So if I move across here, you'll see a very subtle movement across the screen. So let's click on movie and let's just do frame by frame, and you'll see, boom. There you go. It's going across the screen. Now you can spread out your where you split your clips, maybe make it 2 frames or 3 frames or whatever to make it look how you want it to look. But this is how I did it for this one. And then as you can see, when I get to the end, you'll see once again that You go from having a full Kamehameha wave to half to a small amount, and then when he brings his hands in, it's going. So basically, you're done, my friends. Kamehameha wave in Cyberlink PowerDirector 11 Ultimate. Alright guys, you know the routine. You gotta do some things for me, for your boy. The thumb, the one that's pointed in the upward direction. Click it, like it, live it, love it, hug it. Leave me your comments. I need to know what kind of effect you guys want to see done in Cyberlink PowerDirector. Alright? Leave your comments. Comment on this video. If you need help with something, I'll try to get back with you and get you the help you need. But you got to leave me your comments on your videos or effects that you want to see done so I can do them for you. And last, but definitely not least, don't you ever forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.